Today I'm going to introduce the Integrity Operating Window module of Kratos Power Inspection Solution Asset Integrity Management software. Once the RBI is done and the equipment with the highest risk values are determined, the user or the client is highly recommended to continue its asset integrity activities into an IOW program. So here I open the module, and here you can see a general layout of the main menu of the module. But let's first start with an explanation of an IOW program, or some definition for IOW. Well, as you know, any pressure retaining component has some operational parameters such as operating pressure, temperature, inlet flow rate, outlet flow rate, etc. While some of these parameters are important from the point of operation view, others may play pivotal role in the mechanical integrity of the equipment. The operating pressure of a pressurized vessel is a clear example of such parameters that once sufficiently exceeded, it may result in the rupture of the equipment. So it is very important to have a comprehensive understanding of all damage mechanisms that are possible to the given equipment, and these damage mechanisms are supposed to be determined in the RBI process, and then define the operational parameters and their upper and lower values, and also their priorities that may affect the possible damage mechanisms. No need to mention that determination of some of these operational parameters require a high level of corrosion science and experience, but also a high level of operation knowledge. For example, in an acid gas absorber, the inlet and outlet temperature of the stream is easy to understand in terms of its effects in amine corrosion, but some other parameters such as the presence of adequate wash water at the top of the column is not very easy to grasp. Furthermore, it is very important to notice that the corrosion rates, or in general the gradation rates that are determined in an RBI process, and their accuracy significantly relies upon the premise that the operating condition of the vessel in future is quite the same as those that the vessel has experienced in past. And so does the interval inspection or any other results or outcomes from the RBI assessment. So if the operating pressure or temperature of a vessel is changed, then the obtained corrosion rates or degradation rates may be no longer valid for the future period of performance. So in this regard, an IOW program is very important to the accuracy of our asset integrity management program. Having said these explanations, now let's start the module and see what it can do. Similar to the RBI module, it starts with defining the hierarchy. Here again, we have the refinery, we have the area, we have the unit, we have component, we have equipment, and also here we have the IOWs. So we can add here, we can add any IOW, or once we go to an upper hierarchy, we can add any equipment, or unit and area, and so and so. So here I consider this column and I want to add an IOW. So let's start it. The equipment name is inherited. The IOW type, whether it's standard, information, or critical. So let's have a brief explanation of these three different types of IOWs. The critical IOW is one that if exceeded, or in the upper direction or in the lower direction, it may result in an imminent catastrophic consequence, such as rupture of system. Pressure, the operating pressure, is a vivid example of such IOW types. And a standard IOW is an IOW that, if exceeded, it may result in a severe degradation rate in a near future, let's say in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. But an information IOW type is that is not considered to significantly affect the integrity or the mechanical integrity of the equipment in a near future. It may be, the pH of the system. Of course, in some vessels or in some processes, the pH may be even critical IOW. So it depends on the actual condition and the damage mechanisms of the equipment. Here, first I define the name. Let's see, it's about now let's have a look at the outcome. Depiction of the data. Here we have upper and lower limits, and once go through the graph, along the graph, the data for each date and the hours the recorded values in each hour can be presented. And here we have a color depiction of the data, whether the data are okay or not. Here apparently all the data is okay, but let's look at another IOW. Let's see, it's the bottom temperature. Here let's see what are the upper and lower limits. So it's the upper limit is 29, the lower limit is 25. Of course, these are some examples. And here we can see the values more than the upper limit are colored in red, and the values lower than the lower limit is colored in yellow. And here is another useful device. Here we can see the upper and lower limits, but the dates are not, or may not be those that the user wish. So we can select which period is going to be presented here in the above graph, and the graph can easily change to those, or switch to those periods that we wish here. Until now, we have been capable to see the data in the software and see the trend of the data, but we may need the exact values in Excel formats to be further analyzed by Persian engineers. So we may use the report tab. Here first we have to insert the date that we want to get report, or we want to have report. So I insert the start and finish, and then we should select which IOW or which parameter are we going to have its report. So let's suppose it's the bottom temperature, and we push the report, and the data is presented here. Then it's recommended to export it to Excel. Report is important because one may not have enough time to continuously monitor the values, and he or she may prefer, for example, once a month to look into the data truly. So here I save at report 3, and the export is successful, and the Excel file is now open, and here you can see that data is divided based on the month, and here we have the date, and here we have the time, from time 0 to time 23 for each month separately, and then different graphs can be extracted, and the data can be analyzed in detail. There are also other potential capabilities, whether a client may request to add an online alarming system for different IOWs. Here we have other mode of depicting the software. Here is a night mode, and here is a day mode. So that's it, and thank you very much for your attention.